see. Book of Proverbs, chapter 1. Let's begin. Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to preserve the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice and judgment and equity, to give prudence to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase in learning, and a man of understanding will attain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and a egomen, the words are wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Okay, shun evil counsel. Verse 8. My son, hear the instruction of your father. Do not forsake the law of your mother, for they will be a graceful ornament on your head, and the chains about your neck. My sons, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie and wait to shed blood. Let's lurk secretly for the innocent without cease. Let us swallow them alive like shallow, and whole like those who go down to the pit. We shall all kinds of precious possessions. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in your lot among us. Let's all have one purse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Keep your foot from their path, for their foot run to evil. Feet. And they make haste to shed blood. Surely in bathing the net is spread in the sight of any bird. But they lie in wait for their own blood. They lurk secretly for their own lives. So are the ways of anyone who is greedy for gain. It takes away the life of its own owners. The call of wisdom. Verse 20. Wisdom calls aloud outside. She raises her voice in the open squares. She cries out in the chief concourses. At the openings of the gates in this city, she speaks her words. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? For scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn out my rebuke, surely I will pour out my spirit on you. I will make my words known to you, because I have called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no one regarded, because you did disdain my counsel. I would have none of my rebuke. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your terror comes. When your terror comes like a storm, and your destruction comes like a whirlwind. When distress and anguish come upon you, then I will call on me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but they will not find me, because they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would have none my counsel, and despise my every rebuke. Therefore they shall eat the fruit of their own way, and be filled to the full of their own fancies. For the turning away of a simple will slay them, and the complexity of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will dwell safely, and be secure without fear of evil. Chapter 2. Here we go. The value of wisdom. My son, if you receive my words and treasure my commands within you, so that you incline your ear to wisdom and apply your heart to understanding. Yes, if you cry out for discernment and lift up your voice for understanding. If you seek her as silver and search for her for her hidden treasures, then will you understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. So for the Lord gives wisdom, and for his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is shield to those who walk uprightly. He guards the paths of justice and preserves the way of his saints. Then you will understand righteousness and justice, equity in every good path. When wisdom enters your heart, and knowledge is pleasant to your soul, discretion will preserve you, and understanding will keep you, to deliver you from the way of the evil, from the man who speaks, perverse things, from those who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the way of darkness, who rejoices in doing evil, and delight in the perversity of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and who are vicious in their paths, to deliver you from the immoral woman, from the seductions who flatters with her words, forsakes the companion of her youth, who forgets the covenant of her God. For her house leads down to death, and her paths to death, which is not a good thing. It's a bad thing. None who go to her return, nor do they regain the paths of life. But the path of the just is like the shining sun, that shines ever brighter unto the perfect day. The day of the wicked is like darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. My son, give attention to my words. Incline your ear to my sayings. Do not let them depart from your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart, for they are life to those who find them. So true. And health to all their flesh. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. Put away from your deceitful mouth, and put perverse lips far away from you. Let your eyes look straight ahead, and your eyelids look right before you. Ponder the path of your feet, and let all your ways be established. Do not turn to the right or left. Move your foot from evil. Chapter 5. Go. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Lend your ear to my understanding, that you may preserve. Sorry, keep getting that word though. Discretion, and your lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of the immoral women drip honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but at the end she is bitter as wormwood. Stay away from that, guys. Sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to the depth. Her steps lay hold of hell. Lest you ponder her path of life, her ways are unstable. You do not know them. Therefore hear me now, my children. Do not depart from the words of my mouth. Remove your way far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others, and your ears to the cruel one, lest aliens be filled with your wealth, and your labors go to the house of the foreigner, and you mourn at last, when your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembly and congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, if I'm reading that right, and running water from your own well. Should your fountains be dispersed abroad streams of water in the streets. Let them be only your own, and not for the strangers with you. Let the fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth. As a loving deer and graceful doe, let our breasts satisfy you at all times, and always be enraptured with her love. For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman? It's true. And be embraced in the arms of the seductress. For the ways of the man are before the eyes of the Lord. He ponders all his paths. Let's see, ponders all his paths. But I lost place. Here we go. His own iniquities entrap the wicked man. He is caught in the cords of his sin. He shall die for the lack of instruction, and the greatness of his folly. He shall go astray, which is not a good thing, guys. Excuse me. Chapter 6. Dangerous promises? Okay. My son, if you become surely for your friend, if you have shaken hands and pledged for a stranger, you are snared by the words of your mouth. You are taken by the words of your mouth. So this, my son, deliver yourself, for you have come into the hand of your friend. Go humble yourself and plead with your friend. Give no sleep to your eyes, nor slumber to your eyelids. Deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, and like a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to an ant, you sluggard, and consider her ways, and be wise, which having no captain, overseer, or ruler, provides her supplies in the summer, and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? A little slumber, a little folding in her hands to sleep. So shall you perpetually come on you like a plower, you in your need like an armed man. A wicked person, a wicked man, walks with a perverse mouth. He winks with his eyes, he shuffles his feet, he points with his fingers. Perversity is in his heart, devises evil continually, and sows discord. Therefore his calamity should come suddenly. Suddenly he should be broken without remedy. These 6 things the Lord hates, which is not a good thing. You want to stay away from that, guys. Avoid it at all costs. 6 things the Lord hates. Because 7 are an abomination to him: a proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speaks lies, and one who sows discord among brethren. Okay, this is talking about adultery. Beware of it. Oh, you got your own comments. Rebuke you. My son, keep your father's command. Do not forsake the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon your heart. Tie them around your neck. When you roam, they will lead you. When you sleep, they will keep you. And when you wake, they will speak with you. For the commandment is a lamp, the law of its light. The reproofs of the instruction are the way of life, to keep you from the evil woman, from the flattering tongue of seductress. Do not lust after her beauty in your heart, nor her lair you with her eyelids. For by means of harlot, a man is reduced to a crust of bread, and an adulteress will prey upon his precious life. Can a man take fire to his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one walk on hot coals and his feet not be seared? So he is who goes in to his neighbor's wives. Whoever touches her should not be innocent. People do not despise a thief if he steals satisfactorily. Himself he is starving. Yet when he is found, he must restore sevenfold. He may have to give up all substance of his house. Whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. Who does so destroys his own soul. Wounds and dishonor will get, and his reproach will not be wiped away. But jealousy is a husband's fury. Therefore he will not spare the day of vengeance. He will accept no recompense, nor will he appeased, though you give me many gifts. Chapter 7. Okay, about to say, bro. Praise God. My son, keep my words, my treasure, my commands within you. Keep my commands and live. My law as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your nearest kin, that they may keep you from the immoral woman, from the seductress who flatters her. Words. See, verse 6. Where at the window of my house I looked through my lattice, if I'm reading that right, and saw among the simple, I perceived among the youths, a young man devoid of understanding, passed along the street near her corner. He took the path to her house, into twilight, the evening, in the black and dark night. And there was a woman, met him, with a tired harlot and a crafty heart. She was loud and rebellious. Her feet would not stay at home. At times she was outside, at times in the open square, looking at every corner. Sounds like something we know about, right? It's happening right before your eyes, that scripture right there. So she caught him and kissed him. With an impudent face, she said to him, I have peace offerings with me. Today I have paid my vows. So I came out to meet you, dealing to seek your face, and I have found you. I have spread my bed with tapestry, coverings of Egyptian linen. I have prepared my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our love until morning. Let us delight ourselves with love, for my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey, has taken a bag of money with him, and he will come home on appointed day. With her enticing speech she caused him to yield. With her flattering lips she seduced him. Immediately he went after her as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a foal to correction of the stocks, till an arrow struck his liver. Ooh, that sounds harsh. As a bird hastens to the snare, he did not know it would cost his life. Now therefore listen to me, my children. Pay attention to the words of my mouth. Do not let your heart turn aside to her ways. Do not stray into her paths, for she has cast down many wooden, and all who were slain by her were strong men. Her house is the way to hell, descending the chambers of death. Which is not a good thing, guys. It's not a good thing. Let's see, chapter 8. Does not wisdom cry out, and understand lift up her voice? She takes her stand on the top of the high hill, besides the way where the paths meet. She cries out by the gates at the entry of the city, at the entries of the doors. To you, O men, I call, my voice is to the sons of men. And you simple ones, understand prudence. You fools, be of understanding heart. Listen, for I will speak of excellent things, and from the opening of my lips will come right things. From my mouth will speak truth. Wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are righteousness. Nothing crooked or perverse is them. They are the plain to him who understands, and the right to those who find knowledge. Receive my instruction, not silver, and knowledge rather than choice and gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things one may desire cannot be compared with her. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge and discretion. For the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. Pride and arrogance and all the evil way. Perverse mouth I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength. By me kings reign, and rulers decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, all the judges of the earth. I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently will find me. Riches and honor are with me, enduring riches and righteousness. We're talking about Jesus here. That's the one you seek diligently. Anyway, here we go. My fruit is better than gold, yes, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I traverse the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of justice, that I may cause them, those who love me, to inherit wealth, that I may fill their treasures. The Lord possessed me at the beginning of his way, for his works of old I have established from the everlasting. From beginning, before there was ever an earth. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there was no fountains abounding with water. For the mountains were settled, for the hills I was brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth or the fields, or the primal dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he drew a circle on the face of the deep. When he established the clouds above. When he strengthened the fountains deep. When he assigned the sea its limit, so that the waters would not transgress his command. He marked out the foundations of earth. Then I was beside him as a master craftsman, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in his habitation world. And my delight was with the sons of men. Now therefore listen to me, my children, for blessed are those who keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and do not disdain it. Blessed the man who listens to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whoever finds me finds life. So true. And attains favor from the Lord. But he who sins against me wrongs his own soul. So powerful but true. All those who hate me love death. Give me a second, guys. I need some drink. Chapter 9. The way of wisdom. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her meat. She has mixed her wine. She has furnished her table. She has sent out her maidens. She cries out from the highest places of city. Whoever is simple, let him turn and hear. As for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, Come eat of my bread, and drink of my wine I have mixed. Forsake foolishness and live, and go in the way of understanding. He who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself, and he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. Do not correct a scoffer, lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man, he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, he will be still wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For by me your days will be multiplied, and the years of life will be added to you. If you are wise for yourself. If you scoff, you will bear it alone. Wow, sounds lonely. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knows nothing, for she sits at the door of her house, on a seat by the highest places of the city, to call to those who pass by, who straight on their way. Whoever is simple, let him turn here. As for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, Stolen water is sweet, and bread eating is secret is pleasant. But he does not know that the dead are there, that our guests are in the depths of her hell. Wow, that's powerful right there. They know not, because they know not the truth. Wise sayings of Solomon. Proverbs 10. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise man's son makes a glad father, but a foolish son is the grief of his mother. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivers from death. The Lord would not allow the righteous soul to famish, but he casts away the desire of the wicked. He who has a slack hand becomes poor, but the hand of the delight makes rich. He who gathers in summer is a wise son. He who sleeps in a harvest is a son who causes shame. Blessings are on the head of the righteous, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. The memory of the righteous is blessed, but the name of the wicked will not rot. The wise in heart will receive commands, but a prodding fool will fall. He who walks with integrity walks secretly. Surely, if I'm saying that right. But he who perverts his ways will become known. He who winks with eye causes trouble, but a prodding fool will fall. Excuse me. Hold on, just see. There we go. The mouth of the righteous is the well of life, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. Hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sins. Amen to that. Amen to that. Wisdom is found on the lips of him who has understanding, but a rod is for the back of him who is devoid of understanding. Wise people store up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. The rich man's wealth is strong city. Destruction of the poor is their poverty. So true to what we're going to, guys. The labor of the righteous leads to the life. The wages of the wicked to sin. You want to stay away from sin, pretty much. He who keeps instructions is in the way of life, but he who refuses correction goes astray. Whoever hides hatred has lying lips. Whoever spreads slander is a fool. In the multitude of words, sin is not lacking. But he who restrains his lips is wise. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver. The heart of the wicked is worth a little. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for lack of wisdom. The blessing of the Lord makes one rich. In many ways do you count, guys. He has no sorrow with it. To do evil is like sport to a fool, but a man of understanding has wisdom. The fear of the wicked will come upon them, and the desire of the righteous will be granted. When the whirlwind passes by, the wicked is no more. But the righteous has everlasting foundation, as vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes. So is the lazy man to those who sin him. The fear of the Lord prolongs days, but the years of the wicked will be shortened. Not a good thing right there for those that are living in wickedness. The hope of the righteous will be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked will perish. The way of the Lord is strength for the upright, but destruction will come to the workers of iniquity. The righteous will never be removed, but the wicked will not inhabit the earth. The mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but the perverse tongue will be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked what is perverse. Chapter 11. Dishonest scales are an abomination to his Lord, but a just weight is his delight. When pride comes, then comes a shame, but with the humble is wisdom, and the integrity of the upright will guide them. But the perversity of the unfaithful will destroy them. The riches do not profit the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. The righteousness of the blameless will direct his way upright, but the wicked will fall by his own wickedness. The righteous of the upright will deliver them, but the unfaithful will be caught by their lust. When the wicked man dies, his expectation will perish, and the hope of the unjust perishes. The righteous is delivered from trouble, and he comes to the wicked instead. The hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge the righteous will be delivered. When it goes well with the righteous, the city rejoices, and when the wicked perish, there is jubilation. By the blessings of the upright, the city is exalted, but is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. He who is devoid of wisdom despises his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his peace. A talebearer reveals secrets, but he who is faithful spirit conceals a matter. Where there is no counsel, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. He who is surely for a stranger will suffer, But one who hates being secretive, if I'm saying that, is secure. A gracious woman retains honor, but relentless men retain riches. The merciful man does good for his own soul, but he who is cruel troubles his own flesh. The wicked man does deceptive work, but he who sows righteousness will have a sure reward. As righteousness leads to life, so he who pursues evil pursues it to his own death. Those who are a perverse heart are an abomination to the Lord, but the blameless in their ways are his delight. Though they join forces, be wicked will not be go unpunished, but the posterity of the righteous will be delivered. As a ring of gold and swan's snout, so is the lovely woman who lacks discretion. The desire of the righteous is only good. Okay, let's see where I'm at. But the expectation of the wicked is wrath. There's one who scatters yet increases more, and there is one who withholds more than is upright, but it leads to poverty. The generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will be water himself, which is a good thing. The people will curse him who withholds grain, but blessings will be on the head of him who sells it. He who is earnestly seeks good finds favor, but trouble will come to him who seek evil. He who trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like foliage, if I'm saying that right. He who troubles his own house will inherit the wind, and the fool will be servant to the wise heart. The fear of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who wins souls is wise. If the righteous will be recompensed on the earth, how much more than the ungodly and the sinner? True to the point. Chapter 12. Whoever loves instruction loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. Well, straight up. Right in front of your face. It's like, bam. A good man attains favor from the Lord, but a man of wicked intentions he will condemn. A man is not established by weakness, but the root of righteousness cannot be moved. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband. Excuse me. But she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. The thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsel of the wicked are deceitful, basically full of lies. The words of the wicked are lie and the wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright will deliver them. The wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous will stand, and man will be commended according to his wisdom. But he who is perverse his heart will be despised. Better is the one who is slighted, but has a servant, than he who honors himself but lacks bread. A righteous man regards the life of his animal, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. He who tills his land will be satisfied with bread, But he who follows, I can't pronounce that right word, frivolity, is devoid of understanding. The wicked covet the catch of evil of men, but the root of righteousness yields fruit. The wicked is ensnared by the transgression of his lips, but the righteous will come through trouble. A man will be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hands will be rendered to him. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he who heeds counsel is wise. A fool's wrath is known at once, but a prudent man covers shame. He who speaks truth declares righteousness, but a false witness deceit. There is one who speaks like the piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise promotes health. The truthful lip shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. Deceit is the heart of those who devise evil, but counsels of peace have joy. No grave trouble will overtake the righteous, but the wicked shall be filled with evil. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truthfully are his delight. A prudent man conceals knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaims foolishness. The hand of delight will rule, but the lazy man will be put to forced labor. Anxiety in the heart of a man causes depression, but a good word makes it glad. The righteous should choose his friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. The lazy man does not roast what he took in hunting, but diligence is a man's precious possession. And the way of the righteous is life, and in its pathway therefore is no death. Okay, I think I want to take a break for a moment. Wow, 43 minutes. Okay. Let's continue. At least I want to do this for an hour. Chapter 13. A wise son heeds his father's instruction, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. A man shall eat well by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the unfaithful feeds in violence. He who guards his mouth preserves his life, but he who opens wide his lips shall have destruction. The soul of a lazy man desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich. A righteous man hates lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and comes to shame. Righteousness guard him whose way is blameless, but wickedness overthrows the sinner. There is one who makes himself rich, yet has nothing, and the one who makes himself poor, yet has great riches. The ransom of a man's life is of his riches, but the poor does not hear rebuke. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked will be put out. By pride comes nothing but strife, but with well-devised is wisdom. Wealth gained by dishonesty will be diminished. But he who gathers by labor will increase. Hope deferred makes his heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. He who despises the world will be destroyed, but he who fears the commandment will be rewarded. The law of the wise is the fountain of life, to turn one way from the snares of death. Good understanding gains favor by the way, the unfaithful is hard. Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool lays upon his folly. A wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a faithful ambassador brings health. Poverty and shame will come to him who disdains correction, but he who regards a rebuke will be honored. A desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is an abomination to fools to depart from evil. He who walks with the wise man will be wise, but the companion of the fools will be destroyed. Evil pursues sinners, but to the righteous good should be repaid. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up in the righteous. Much food is the fallow ground of the poor, and for the lack of justice there is waste. He who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him promptly. The righteous eats to the satisfying of his soul, but the stomach of the wicked shall be in want. Excuse me. Chapter 14. The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pulls it down with her hands. He who walks in the uprightness fears the Lord, but he who preserves his ways despises him. In the mouth of the fool is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise will preserve them. Where no oxes are, the trough is clean, but make increase comes by the strength of an ox. A faithful witness does not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scoffer seeks wisdom and does not find it. But knowledge is easy to him who understands. So true. Go from the presence of a foolish man, when you do not perceive in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools mock at sin, but among the upright there is favor. The heart knows its own bitterness, and a stranger does not share its joy. The house of the wicked will be overthrown, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Meaningful and profound, that is. Even in laughter the heart may sorrow, and the end of mirth may be grief. The backslider is in heart will be filled with his own ways. Talking about those that are backsliding still, that go about to sin, that need to repent. But a good man will be satisfied from above. A simple believer believes every word, but the prudent considers well his steps. A wise man fears and departs from evil, but a fool rages in its self-confident. A quick-tempered man acts foolishness, and a man of wicked intentions is hated. A simple and hearted folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil will bow for the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor man is hated even by his own neighbor, but the rich has many friends. He who despises his neighbor sins. You see, hate. That's what that means. But he who has mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not go straight and do devise evil? Got it. But mercy and truth belong to those who devise evil. Good, I mean. In all labor there is profit, but idle chatter leads away only to poverty. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of the fools is folly. A true witness delivers souls, but a deceitful witness speaks lies. In the fear of the Lord there is strong confidence, and his children will have a place of refuge. Notice the Lord Jesus Christ. The fear of the Lord is the fountain of life, to turn one away from the snares of death. And a multitude of people is a king's honor, but in lack of people is the downfall of a prince. He who is slow to wrath has great understanding, but he who impulses exalts folly. A sound heart is alive to the body, but envy is rottenness to the bones. He who oppresses the poor reproaches his maker, but he who honors him has mercy on the needy. The wicked is banished in his own wickedness. Excuse me again. But the righteous has a refuge in his death. Wisdom rests in the heart of him who has understanding, but what is in the heart of fools is made known. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him who causes shame. Which is a scary thing to think about, guys. His wrath makes you have fear of the Lord. It does. Chapter 15. Excuse me. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge rightly, but the mouth of the fools pours forth foolishness. The eyes of the Lord are in every place. That means you can't hide from him. He'll see what you're doing. Keeping watch of the evil and the good. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but preservedness and it breaks the spirit. A fool despises his father's instruction, but he who receives correction is prudent. In the house of the righteous there is much treasure, but in the revenue of the wicked is trouble. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the fool does not do so. The sacrifice of the wicked is abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright in his delight. The way of the wicked is abomination to the Lord, but he who loves him who follows righteousness. Harsh discipline is for him who forsakes the way, and he who hates correction will die. Wow. Straight up to the point. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. So how much more are the hearts of the sons of men? Wow. So true. A scoffer does not love one who corrects him, nor will he go to the wise. A merry heart makes a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. The heart of him who has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of the fools feeds on foolishness. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he who is merry on heart has a continual feast. Better is a little while with the fear of the Lord than great treasure with trouble. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a flat-bedded calf with hatred. Okay. A wrathful man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger always contention. The way of the lazy man is like a hedge of thorns. That sounds sharp. But the way of the upright is highway. A wise man makes a father glad, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly is a joy to them who is I can't read that right. Of discernment. But a man about understanding walks uprightly. Without counsel, plan go aware. But in multitude of counselors, they are established. A man has joy by the answer of his mouth. And a word spoken in due season, how good it is. The way of life wins upward for the wise, that he may turn away from hell below. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the boundary of window. The thoughts of the wicked are abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant. He who is greedy for gain troubles his own house, but he who hates bribes will live. The heart of the righteous studies how to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours forth evil. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous, basically his saints. The light of the right eyes rejoices in the heart, and a good report makes the bones healthy. The ear that hears rebukes of life will abide among the wise. He who disdains destruction despises his own soul, but he who heeds rebukes gets understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. With that being said, okay, here's a bookmark. Give me a second. Oh, I know. That'll work. Okay. Need to take a break from all this reading. Wow. So we made it to Proverbs 16 in one go. Nice. Very nice. Well, y'all have a good night. Good talking to y'all, and good to share this word with y'all. Hope y'all enjoy. This is what my Bible looks like. It's got the crucifixion on it. King James Version. Alright, y'all. Good night.